The airport was alive with its usual hum of conversations, rolling luggage and the occasional overhead announcement. Amelia DuPont stood in line at the first-class check-in counter, her posture poised, her expression unreadable. She had spent years perfecting that look, the quiet confidence of a woman who belonged wherever she chose to be. She had booked her flight weeks ago, ensuring every detail was in place. She was on her way to finalize a massive acquisition for her company, DuPont Logistics, a deal that would solidify her as one of the most powerful businesswomen in the industry. It wasn't just another trip. It was the trip, the one that would change everything. The airline employee behind the counter, a woman with a polite but practiced smile, typed away at her computer before pausing, frowning slightly at the screen. Amelia noticed the subtle shift in body language. Something was wrong. "Ms. DuPont," the woman said carefully, "it looks like there's been a mix-up with your reservation." Amelia's brows lifted slightly. "A mix-up?" "Yes, it seems your seat was reassigned. Unfortunately, the flight is now at full capacity." Amelia's fingers tightened around the handle of her designer carry-on. "Reassigned? I booked this flight weeks ago. I paid for a first-class ticket. How does that happen?" The employee glanced at a supervisor standing nearby. A middle-aged man with a stiff posture and the kind of condescending look Amelia had seen far too many times. He walked over with a sigh, already bracing for the conversation. "I'm sorry, ma'am," he said, his tone dismissive. "It looks like a higher priority passenger needed the seat." A slow silence stretched between them. Amelia tilted her head. "Higher priority?" The man nodded. "An executive from one of our partner firms. These things happen. We'll be happy to accommodate you on the next available flight." The words were spoken so casually as if this wasn't an issue at all, as if she were just another nameless passenger being bumped for someone more important. Amelia took a deep breath, pushing down the familiar surge of anger. She had been here before in countless boardrooms, in negotiation meetings where men twice her age had talked over her, assuming she had earned her place through luck rather than skill. She had built her empire from nothing, and she had learned one undeniable truth. Power wasn't given. It was taken. "I'd like to speak to the manager," she said smoothly. The supervisor's smirk deepened. "Ma'am, I am the manager." A challenge. Amelia smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "Then I suppose I'll have to take this higher." She reached for her phone, stepping away from the counter. The supervisor was already moving on, dismissing her as if she no longer mattered. He had no idea who he had just disrespected. Amelia dialed a number, listening as it rang twice before a familiar voice answered. "Amelia," the deep voice greeted her. "I wasn't expecting a call. What's going on?" "James," she said, keeping her voice level. "I need a favor." James Parker was one of her closest allies, a lawyer known for dismantling corporations with surgical precision. If there was anyone who could make an airline regret their decisions, it was him. "Tell me what you need," James said. "I need you to pull everything you can on Horizon Airlines," she said, glancing back at the counter where the supervisor was now laughing with another employee. "I want their financials, their policies, their board of directors. I want to know their weaknesses." There was a pause. Then James chuckled. "You're not just trying to get your seat back, are you?" "No," Amelia said, her voice turning ice cold. "I'm taking the whole damn airline." She ended the call and turned back toward the counter, her anger now sharpened into something far more dangerous. Determination. The next few weeks unfolded like a meticulously planned game of chess. Amelia had resources, connections, and a ruthless ability to exploit corporate vulnerabilities. Horizon Airlines had made the fatal mistake of underestimating the wrong woman. James dug into their financials and discovered that the airline was struggling more than it let on. A string of lawsuits, unhappy shareholders, and outdated infrastructure had put them in a precarious position. All they needed was one final push to send them into free fall. That push came when Amelia leaked the footage of her encounter at the airport. The video spread like wildfire. News outlets picked it up, social media exploded, and the airline's PR team scrambled to contain the damage. But the real blow came when other passengers, people who had faced similar discrimination, started sharing their own stories. The headlines were brutal. Horizon Airlines faces backlash after denying seat-to-black CEO. Billionaire Amelia DuPont takes on the airline industry. Racial bias allegations surface against Horizon Airlines. Amelia knew the board of directors would be in full panic mode. Stockholders hated bad press, and with their financials already shaky, Horizon Airlines was in no position to handle a scandal of this magnitude. Then came the final move. Amelia made an offer to buy a controlling stake in the airline. The board resisted at first, but when the stock plummeted and shareholders demanded a solution, they had no choice but to negotiate. 3 months after she was denied her seat, Amelia DuPont walked into the headquarters of Horizon Airlines, her heels clicking against the marble floor. The same supervisor who had smirked at her that day at the airport was now standing nervously outside the executive boardroom, waiting to greet the new majority owner of the company. Amelia took a moment to enjoy the irony. She stepped forward, looking him directly in the eye. "Looks like I finally got my seat," she said, her smile sharp. And then she walked past him, entering the boardroom to take her rightful place at the head of the table.